We are back with an update. Here's where we stand right now in a very fluid and changing list to potentially become a running mate for Vice President Kamala Harris. NBC reports that the options floated by Democrats include a host of popular governors. That includes Kentucky's Andy Beshear, Illinois' J.B. Pritzker, Pennsylvania's Josh Shapiro. Maryland Governor Wes Moore just told the Baltimore Banner he's not interested in the VP slot, although he wouldn't go as far as to say he'd turn it down. Another big name, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, says she's not leaving Michigan.
Are you prepared to take the vice presidency if it's offered, ma'am?
No, I'm not planning to go anywhere.
So if they offer it, you will not take it?
I am not leaving Michigan.
Here to discuss, NBC's Jesse Kirsch, who is live in Ohio covering J.D. Vance's event, and Ashley Etienne and Basil Smykel are still with us. All right, so talk to us about what J.D. Vance said today. Jesse.
Yeah, so Katie, we just heard for the first time from the Republican ticket directly on camera about the news of the president dropping out of this race. Here's what J.D. Vance, senator from Ohio and the Republican vice presidential nominee, just said moments ago about Kamala Harris, the current vice president.
When I think about Kamala Harris, who I guess is our vice presidential candidate officially, but I guess she's going to run for president now because Joe Biden dropped out of the race. You know, when I see when to take bets here, when to start a betting pool just in this auditorium, if you want to lead this country, you should feel grateful for it. You should feel a sense of gratitude. And I never hear that gratitude come through when I listen to Kamala Harris.
So that's former President Trump's running mate just a short time ago. He just wrapped up his remarks here in Middletown, Ohio. This is his hometown. So, of course, the former president is going to be able to lean on Vance to speak to the Rust Belt. He is from Ohio. He's from this community. And this is the setting for his book, his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, which just speaks to a rags to riches story in America. In addition to speaking to policy positions here, Mr. Vance also reiterated what we're starting to hear from Republicans, questioning whether or not President Joe Biden should be continuing to finish out his current term because he has now said he is not going to run for re-election, guys. Back to you.
Jesse Kirsch in Ohio with J.D. Vance, his first solo appearance as the vice presidential nominee on the Republican side. Thank you for that. So, Ashley, let me ask you about the attacks that are coming in against her. On X, before he took the stage there in Ohio, J.D. Vance said that Kamala Harris owns Biden policies, including what he calls the open border, green scam policies, driving up the cost of housing and groceries, and, quote, she owns all of those failures. She lied for nearly 4 years about Biden's mental capacity, saddening the nation with a president who can't do the job. How thick is her skin? You know her well. And will she even answer some of the criticism that some people might think is small?
Well, I mean, if that's the best that the senator can do at what he delivered at the podium, I mean, bring it on. I think, you know, the vice president suffers no fool. So I'm ready to see this this brawl go down. But here's the real reality is, you know, those types of criticisms leveled against the vice president really only serve to reinforce the Republicans' base. That's already locked in. That's already built in. The 1 to 2% is who's going to make the difference in this particular election. And that 1 to 2% wanted, and we're looking for a couple of things. They wanted an alternative. They got it in Kamala Harris. We are now already seeing where Nikki Haley voter PACs have now already come out and endorsed the vice president, have come out and endorsed Harris. The fundraising among that group is incredibly large. She's also polling very well, you know, far surpassing Joe Biden with that group in and of itself. And if you dig down into the Biden campaigns, or now the Harris campaigns, internal polling, what really moves those voters is two issues. One is reproductive rights and democracy. Those are the two issues that the vice president's been leading on right now that the Republicans have no response to. And their responses are deficient. You know, they don't meet the level that again, is sufficient for those particular voters. So, you know, these attacks about the record aren't going to go over well with those voters, and they're going to fall flat on their face. So I'm just curious to see how the vice president handles them. Again, I know her to be strong, forceful, fortified in who she is, fortified in her vision. So I think this is going to be interesting. I just want to add one more thing. The Republicans are going to come after her on two major fronts, one on her gender and one on her race. And those are actually her greatest assets going into this next election. Those two issues, those two factors are going to really drive out not only the Democratic base, but that 1 to 2% of suburban voters that the internal polls within the campaign are showing that they need. Those are the two issues that are going to drive them out. So she's got a lot that's working to her advantage, and I'm not sure any of these criticisms are going to hold and really be effective.
Ashley Etienne, it's been great having you on the program. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.